Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Glad to have you here at Mastering the Faith. This is my new faith-based channel where we talk about faith and mindset and all things that are pushing you to where God wants you to be ultimately. If you found this video through Master the Man, the time is running out. Please switch over to Mastering the Faith and hit the subscribe button. Join our family because that's where I'm going to be posting this type of content from now on, just to kind of make it its own thing instead of mixing it in with all the different type of content that I shoot over at Master Man, which is centered around faith, fashion, fitness, and finance. So just giving Master and Faith its own channel. But today we're on day 9 of our 22 days of trusting God's plan and awaiting the story of Joseph. And like I said, this every day that I go on this plan, I'm just learning so much and just understanding the different mindset that you have to have when you're trusting God's plan. It's not that you're going to be perfect. It's not that you're going to be like not frustrated and you're not going to worry and you're not going to be angry at times, but it's always just remembering that God is with you. And Joseph is showing us a good example of what to do when you feel like you might be left behind. So today in day 9, it's called Jailbroken. Let's get straight into it. If you haven't already, go back and watch the other videos and catch up with us here on day 9. Hit the link in the description if you want to join the group chat discussions on the devotions, on the Bible verses of the day. Join the Bible app, follow me on the Bible app, and I will see you there in the group chat discussions. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. You already know it's day 9. The title for today is called Jailbroken. Let's go. It says, when 2 full years have passed. Now, this is 2 full years after he asked the cupbearer to remember his name. So Joseph is really feeling forgotten right now, right? So just remember that. So this is when 2 full years has passed, Pharaoh had a dream. Let that sink in for a minute. 2 full years. We aren't talking one Christmas to the next, but 2 full calendar years. That's a long time for Joseph to be forgotten and left working in the dungeon. To really hammer in this point, look at your photo library on your phone or your computer. Now scroll past the months to all the things you did in the past 2 years. A lot of life happened in the form of birthdays, parties, events, trips, you name it. Now, do you see how long it must have felt for Joseph? But as we'll see, things will go from stagnant to warp speed all in one day. One night, Pharaoh had 2 dreams. Sound familiar? We started off Joseph's story with his 2 dreams. Later, the cupbearer and the baker both had prophetic dreams the same night. Pharaoh knew something was different with these dreams about fat cows and skinny cows and how he's not dreaming of the yummy ice cream bars. He called in his magicians and wise men, but these guys had no clue. Cue the light bulb going off in the cupbearer's head. His boss needs something, and now. He remembers what Joseph did for him by interpreting the dreams 2 years ago. At least the guy spoke up and said something. After all, Joseph's interpretations came true. Here's where the story gets exciting. For all of us who are waiting, picture Joseph in the prison. Long, scruffy beard, tattered clothes, dirty skin, and who knows how bad he stank. The king of Egypt now sends for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he shaved, changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Just like in Psalms 40, verse 2, God lifted Joseph out of the miry pit of a dungeon in an instant. Oh, I know it didn't feel like an instant for all. Joseph suffered. But when God puts his plan into motion for you and me, he reserves the right to change things slowly over time or quickly in an instant. The point is to see God's hand in his story. Joseph is sold into slavery. Pharaoh's captain of the guard buys him. Joseph is falsely accused of rape. Joseph goes to Pharaoh's prison. The cupbearer and baker get imprisoned. Joseph interprets their dreams. The cupbearer gets out. Pharaoh has a dream. Cupbearer remembers Joseph, and Joseph is brought before Pharaoh. So the cupbearer actually was Joseph's get out of jail free card, just not when Joseph was expecting it. Soon we'll see how God allowed Pharaoh to have prophetic dreams and reminded the cupbearer of Joseph to interpret those dreams. This all happened at the perfect time when Joseph was needed for a big mission that God was preparing him for all along. Y'all, it's getting good. All right, and the questions for today are, why do you think God allowed 2 more years to pass for Joseph in the prison? Have you ever been catapulted out of a weight? What happened? Have you ever taken the time to truly be honest with God and voicing your frustration about your situation? If not, do it today. Ask him to help you see anything you've learned or ways he has used you in a time of waiting. And let's get right into the first one. So it says, why do you think God allowed 2 more years to pass for Joseph in the prison? And like I said, I think I said in the last video, I believe that this was just a test for Joseph, right? I think, not saying that it could have been 2 years, it could have been 5 years, it could have been 20 days, 30 days, but at the time it was Joseph really felt forgotten. Joseph really felt like the cupbearer did not remember his name after all that he had did for him. But instead of just, and it doesn't talk about it, but to me, I feel like instead of just feeling misery and feeling down about it, Joseph still sought God. Joseph still poured his heart into God, and God rewarded him not only 2 years later. It could have been longer, who knows? But God rewarded him for his patience, and I think the two is just a symbol of the story. Um, have you ever been catapulted? Have you ever been catapulted out of a weight, and what happened? I think yeah. I think we've always experienced things where like it feels like things have changed overnight. I remember struggling, man, and I'm talking about in college where I'm thinking, like I wouldn't be able to pay a bill or I wouldn't be able to get a job or something like that. And like life changed just like that. Whether it wasn't a phone call, whether it wasn't a check that I wasn't expecting, but when you're dealing with God, you have to expect the unexpected, and really just have that faith that do what you can do and let God handle the rest. And have you taken the time to truly be honest with God and voicing your frustrations about your situation? If not, do it today. Ask Him to help you see anything you've learned or ways that He has used you in the time of waiting. And I would totally recommend, like I said, it's not a situation where you have to be perfect or you have to be happy all the time. Like let God know, like pour your heart, like God, I believe in this so much. If you believe in something so much and you're not frustrated that it's taking a long time, then you don't really believe in it that much. Because it's like you can't believe in something so much that you only believe that it can happen overnight, right? So you have to have a passion, you have to have a heart for it, you have to be able to play the long game and trust that God will do it in His time. And maybe God's time is the long game, but maybe God's time is the short game. You just have to have patience that if you continue to do the work, that God will do His part. But yeah, let God know you're frustrated. Like I've been frustrated with this channel. I've been frustrated with the growth. I've been frustrated with not being able to reach you guys and reach the community that I really want to reach and grasp a hold to. I've been frustrated that I've seen people whose videos that I think mine are better. I've been frustrated how they have grown, how they have a following, and I'm pushing so hard. I'm pushing day after day to make it happen, but it seems like I'm not getting there as fast as I would like to. But I've been frustrated about it. But instead of blaming God or instead of getting down on myself and quitting, instead I just continue to pour into what my purpose is and what my mission is. And I believe it so much that it's going to happen for me that I won't quit. Even like I said, even if people don't watch, even if this video gets 0 views, I started a brand new channel. If this video gets 0 views, I'm going to still continue to push. And that's just something that has been instilled in me at this point. So it says Genesis 41. Let's read it. Verse 1. It says, 2 full years later, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing on the banks of the Nile River. In his dream, he saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and begin grazing in the marsh grass. Then he saw 7 more cows come up behind them from the Nile, but these were scrawny and thin. These cows stood beside the fat cows on the riverbank. Then the scrawny, thin cows ate the 7 healthy, fat cows. At this point in the dream, Pharaoh woke up. But he fell asleep again and he had a second dream. This time he saw 7 heads of grain, plump and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, but these were shriveled and withered by the east wind. And these thin heads swallowed up the 7 plump, well-formed heads. Then Pharaoh woke up again and realized it was a dream. The next morning Pharaoh was very disturbed by the dream, so he called for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. When Pharaoh told them his dreams, none of them could tell him what it meant. Finally, the king's cupbearer spoke up. Today I have been reminded of my failure, he told Pharaoh. Some time ago you were angry with the chief baker and me, and you imprisoned us in the place of the captain of the guard. One night the chief baker and I each had a dream, and each dream had its own meaning. There was a young Hebrew man with us in the prison who was a slave of the captain of the guard. We told him his dreams, and he told us what each of the dreams meant, and everything happened just as he had predicted. I was restored to my position as cupbearer, and the chief baker was executed and impaled on a pole. Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once, and he was quickly brought from the prison. After he shaved and changed clothes, he went in and stood before Pharaoh. Psalms 40. For the choir director, a psalm of David. Psalm 40 verses 2. He lifted me out of the pit of despair and out of the mud and out of the mire. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as I walked along. Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, the smallest family will become 1,000 people, and the tiniest group will become a mighty nation. At the right time, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And I really believe that with all my heart. At the right time, Lord, give me everything at the right time. I want stuff at the time where I can handle it and I can be fruitful and I can watch it grow and I can be mature in it. I don't want something that I can't handle. I don't want it too fast where if I get it, I lose myself. But I want it at the right time where I can still honor God and not lose myself in whatever He gives me. And if you guys want, they're already going in the group chat. So if you guys want to join the group chat, again, hit the description and the link below, and we'll see you there. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 10. Thank you guys for joining me. God bless and keep mastering. Hit that like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go.